I'm Logan Pierce, 41, a civil engineer who designs skyscrapers that shrug off earthquakes. I can calculate wind loads in my sleep, but nothing in my life prepared me for the tornado that was my wife's social circle. Tara, 36, stunning marketing exec, loved her friends the way a queen loves a court, for the attention. Their parties were competitions disguised as gatherings. How loud you could laugh, how humble you could brag, how sharp you could cut while smiling. I showed up because I believe that's what husbands do. I learned to stand quietly with a drink, nod at conversations I didn't belong in, and pretend the little jokes about me didn't sting. The night it broke, Melissa hosted a Friday soiree. String lights, curated cocktails, charcuterie spelled the fancy way. The husbands rotated like satellites around a sun of sequins and perfume. I escaped to the deck to talk grills with Melissa's husband, Trevor, and thought maybe I could ride the evening out in peace. Inside, someone put on early 2000s pop and the room detonated with nostalgia. Tara lit up, actually lit up, and I remembered the woman I fell in love with at a charity fundraiser. Maybe this could be a moment, I thought. So I did something rare at those parties. I walked over, took her hand, and asked, "Dance with me?" She rolled her eyes for the audience, but humored me. We swayed, and I could smell that expensive perfume I never learned to pronounce. For a breath of time, it felt like marriage again. Then I leaned in for a simple kiss. She recoiled. Loud enough for the room to hear, she said, "Ugh, I'd rather kiss my dog than kiss you." Silence, then laughter. Real shoulder-slapping laughter. Drinks lifted to her punchline. My humiliation turned into a group sport. I felt my face go hot, then oddly cold. That kind of cold you get on a steel beam in winter, where everything becomes very clear. I smiled like a man reading a blueprint. "That's fair," I said, calm as I could make it. Then I added, "At least the dog wags his tail when he sees me?" The room fell through the floor. A few scattered laughs, gasps, a dropped wine glass. Tara flushed purple. I took a small sip of beer. And come to think of it, the dog doesn't fake headaches either. Explosion. Nervous laughter, scandalized stares, Trevor bent over, wheezing. The husbands, those other quiet statues at every event, looked at me like a rescue helicopter had finally landed. Tara trembled. "We're leaving," she hissed. "Sounds good," I said. "Buildings don't design themselves." The car ride home was weaponized silence. At a red light, she finally said, "You embarrassed me." "You started it," I said, still watching the road. "You turned our marriage into a bit. I just gave it a better punchline." At home, our golden retriever Max bounded over, wildly wagging, thrilled I existed. Tara stomped upstairs. I scratched Max behind the ears. "At least somebody's happy to see me," I said. I slept on the couch with a dog at my feet and for the first time in months, felt peace. Morning brought 47 messages. Missed calls, voicemails, group chat shockwaves courtesy of Trevor, who'd quietly chosen Team Sanity. Screenshots poured in. Tara insisting it was a joke. Her friends split between he went too far and, well, you did say the dog thing. Jessica, one of her closest, texted me privately. "You weren't wrong. Someone needed to say it." Another Dana added, "Confidence is hot. If you end up single, my sister's nice." I laughed into my coffee and gave Max a treat. Tara wanted a unity dinner, catering, place settings, wine pairings, and, most important, the narrative. We both apologize and everyone moves on like last night was bad lighting. I said I'd be there. I even put on a crisp white shirt. Halfway through the entree, she tapped her glass and delivered her script. We regretted things. We were stronger than one bad night. We were committed. Eyes slid to me for the matching apology. I smiled, stood, and pulled a small wrapped box from my jacket. "I got Tara a gift," I said. "Something that really captures how she feels about me." She opened it. A bright red squeaky dog bone. The tag read, "For when you miss my lips." Silence. Then chaos. Trevor was useless, folding with laughter. Dana cackled openly. Jessica tried not to smile and failed. Tara's jaw trembled. Max barreled in, eyes locked on the toy, tail doing helicopter swipes. "See?" I said. "Max approves." "Get out," Tara whispered. "What was that?" I cupped my ear. "Get out!" She threw the toy. It squeaked off my chest, and Max lunged like we'd invented the world's best game. I set the bone gently at her place. I'll leave this here in case you need practice. Then I nodded to the room. Food's great. Enjoy the Unity. I took Max and left. That night I slept at my buddy Mike's place. Bachelor pad decor, 2 beers, 0 questions. My phone filled with voicemails, rage, tears, bargaining, the 5 stages of spin. Trevor texted, "It's historic. The toy's still on the table. No one will touch it. It's a museum piece." The next day, Tara demanded I come home and fix things. I said there was nothing to fix. The marriage wasn't cracked from one party. It was hollowed out by 1,000 small humiliations she'd called jokes. I drove over that afternoon. She'd built a war room on the kitchen table, laptop, bullet points, a marketing plan for our marriage. "We invite everyone back," she said. We both apologize. We present a united front. "We're not equivalents," I said. "You compared kissing me to kissing a dog. I answered with 2 lines and a squeaky toy." "You're impossible," she said. "You don't care about my reputation." "I care about respect," I said. "You can rebrand anything, Tara, except contempt." Her eyes brimmed. "You're not serious." "I'm done," I said. Done being the punchline. Done standing next to you like a prop so your life looks glossy in group chats. "I'll come tomorrow for my clothes, my tools, and Max." "You're taking the dog?" "You said you'd rather kiss him." There wasn't much left to argue. The next week, I moved into a small apartment that allowed dogs and quiet. My life shrank to something sane, a couch Max could sprawl on, weights in the corner, a view of a parking lot I didn't have to perform for. At work, I landed a massive downtown project. My boss asked what changed. I said, "I started sleeping." He nodded. "Keep doing that." Meanwhile, Instagram played courtroom. Tara's friends posted quotes about strong women and toxic men. I made one post. Max, asleep on my couch, captioned, "Kindness isn't weakness. It's just quiet until you make it bark." The likes outpaced anything I'd posted in years. "Guys I barely knew message, thank you for saying it," Jessica commented. "Some people mistake patience for permission. Glad you corrected them." Dana sent, "Still meant what I said about my sister. Also proud of you." I saw Melissa at the grocery store. She forced a smile. "Tara's having a hard time." "Consequences usually are," I said. "I never thought you had it in you," she said. "I always did," I answered. "I just didn't think using it on my wife would ever be necessary." 6 months later, I was different, lighter. I took a solo trip to Colorado and stood at a ridgeline, feeling the wind shove me, and thought, I don't bend for the wrong things anymore. I started running again. I bought the truck I'd wanted for years, the one Tara called unsophisticated. It drives like freedom. I met Jamie at the dog park. She trains dogs for a living. She told Max to leave it, and miracle of miracles, he did. I laughed out loud, a sound that felt brand new. We grabbed coffee that turned into dinner that turned into 3 months of "this is easy." She doesn't need a court. She doesn't need an audience. She needs honesty and gives it back. Sometimes I still bump into Tara's friends. They look away like I'm a live wire that might arc if they get too close. One morning at a cafe, 3 of them went quiet when I walked in. I tipped my hat. "Relax," I said. "I only bite when provoked." They pretended not to hear me. The barista smirked. Here's what I learned. Pain doesn't always arrive as a tidal wave. Sometimes it's a drip, death by 1,000 jokes. You learn to stand still so the water doesn't ripple. And then one night someone says they'd rather kiss a dog than kiss you. And you realize you're soaked and shivering, and you've been calling it rain. Respect isn't given to you because you wear a ring. It's not retroactive because you paid for a wedding. Respect is in how your partner speaks your name when there's an audience. If they turn you into content, you're not a spouse, you're a prop. And silence is not noble when it's submission. I used to confuse being strong with being quiet. But steel isn't strong because it's silent. It's strong because it holds shape under load. That night, with Tara's laugh in my ears and the room roaring, I found my shape. I didn't scream. I didn't smash a glass. I just said 2 lines that told the truth. At least the dog wags his tail when he sees me. And the dog doesn't fake headaches either. Cruel. Maybe. Accurate. Absolutely. Necessary? For me, yes. Max still meets me at the door every night, whole body wagging like celebration. Jamie still texts me dog memes at 6 a.m. because her first client starts at 7. I still run the ridge line when my head gets loud and remember the feel of wind and the sound of my own voice, steady and measured, saying enough. If you're listening to this, and you've been the punchline at your own table, here's your blueprint from a man who designs buildings. Load, resistance, failure point. Calculate honestly. If the structure you're in requires you to erase yourself to keep the facade up, it's not a home. It's a stage set. One hard gust and the pieces scatter. I didn't burn my life down. I just stopped holding up a wall that wasn't mine to carry. The rest fell on its own. Thanks for watching PL's Subscribe.